I like procrastinating, and the best place I find for it is YouTube. So I was just wasting my life watching some YouTube videos, and then I find that video, and basically it has X amount of views. The title is being updated depending on the amount of views it has. I was really intrigued. Apparently the guy who made the video has written a cron function that updates the title every certain amount of time depending on how many video views it has. He did not go into details of how he implemented that, so me being a simple man, I wanted to build it, and I wanted to know how to build it as well. That's why in this video I'm going to show you how to build and deploy this application for free, and to make a video like that with an updating title. So to start off, you open your terminal or Visual Studio Code terminal, and then you just need to type in npm init-y. Essentially that's going to initiate a node package manager in your directory, and we can see that we have a package.json right here. So right now what I want to do is to install a few necessary dependencies. We can go to YouTube API, and it shows how to connect our application to YouTube API essentially. For that we're going to need to install Google APIs and Google Auth library. So let me do just that. I'm going to install Google APIs, npm I Google APIs, and I'm also going to install Google Auth library. Now what it doesn't say is that I want to also install .env for me to be able to access environment variables. So now I'm just going to wait for the whole thing to load, and I'll get back to you when it's done. Now that we have our packages installed, I'm going to go to the browser, and it says that we need to follow the steps. You can follow the steps yourself, or you can just watch this video and see how it's supposed to be done. What you need to do is to go to your Google Platform console. You can access it if you have Google account, Gmail essentially. And then what you need to do if you are on Google Platform, you open the sidebar here, go to API services, and then credentials. Inside here you need to create OAuth 2.0, so we're going to create new credentials here and select OAuth. For most of you, you probably haven't configured it before, same as me. You need to configure consent screen right here. Click external and then create. Now you need to create your app name. It can be anything. You can just say test YouTube title. Your user support email, it can be anything as well. Just type in your email, and then your logo, which you don't need, and email address for your contact information. It can be the same email that you're using this account. Now we can go to save and continue. We can skip that, and it's done. We can go back to our dashboard. Actually, I made a quick mistake here. So before you go back to your dashboard, you need to click on add users right here, and you need to enter the email address of the user that you want to have access to your application. So in my case it's going to be my own email, and I'm going to type it here. So now that you have configured your consent form, we can create credentials again and click on the same button, and then we can select an application type. The only thing I don't like about this docs is that it asks you to select other as a type of application, but it doesn't actually have other right here. So we're gonna select a desktop app. We can create some dumb name, for example test desktop app, and select create. Now we have our client ID and a client secret, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use a JSON file that we're going to download right here. I would advise saving this JSON file into your directory where you're writing your code. So now that this is done, we can create a new file called quickstart.js. and we go back to our YouTube API docs and copy the code right here. We paste it. Essentially what it does is creates a credentials JSON file that you can use later for you to access your own YouTube channel or YouTube account. A few things I want to fix here. First of all, it's going to create our token directory in our home path and user profile. I do not want that, so I want this to be created just in my root directory. So we're gonna do /. Another thing I want to change is that, so we don't want this to be read-only. So yeah, the access has to be force/SSL, because read-only only allows you to read YouTube data, basically. Only GET requests are allowed, but with the force/SSL you can do post and put requests. So now that this is done, we can go to... we also need to update this file to be called client secret. .json, and then we can go node quickstart.js. It's going to ask you to visit this page, so we're gonna click here. After you clicked on the link, you can select your Google account that you had given access to. In my case, this is the one. Now it's going to ask you to verify the app because it's your own application. Google doesn't trust it. We're gonna click continue. We can click continue as well, and then copy this link into your terminal right here and paste it. Now what I did here is created my YouTube Node.js quickstart.json file, and this file will be used for us to update our video titles later. Now what I want to do is to create my server.js. I'm going to create a new file called server.js. Personally, I'm a fan of ES6, so I'm gonna go to package.json here, and I'm gonna type module. Essentially, it's just going to allow me to use import syntax instead of const require. I'm gonna go import.env from .env, and then I want to import Google from Google APIs. Now, before continuing with my code, I want to do a few things. First of all, I want to create a file .env, which is going to store our environment variables such as our authorization in a Node.js quickstart.json, and then our client secret. Also, we need to have a video ID, which is going to be stored. For example, I will have my video ID variable, I will have my auth token, and I will have my client secret. So for your video ID, you can go to YouTube and then select any of the video IDs. For example, right here, it's my very first video of React tutorial. You don't have to watch it, it's actually crap. Essentially, what I wanted to show you is in this URL, we can we can select everything that goes after this video. So v equals and everything after we can select right here and paste it into our .env file here. And then for our auth token, we're selecting this Node.js, this Node.js quickstart.json file, and we're pasting it here. Same thing with the client secret, we're selecting everything here. So in your .env, you will be able to see your video ID, your auth token, and client secret. Again, if you're confused, the client secret is the file that you have downloaded from your Google Platform Console, and auth token is a file that was generated when you run quickstart.js. Also, I have created a .gitignore file, and I have initialized the Git repository. And in my .gitignore, I have added my .env file and my client secret.json. Alright, now it's coding time. So for my server.js, I'm going to initialize my config from .env. Then I'm going to create a variable video ID from my environment variables. Then I'm going to have 4 functions. A main function, which is going to basically initialize my whole code, an authorization function, which is going to authorize my access to be able to get views and update my title on a video, get views function, which is going to get views for the function. It's self-explanatory. And then update title, which is going to update my title. Alright, so now I have finished writing my code. I'm just going to quickly go over what I have done here. At the end of the file, I have called my main function, which is basically going to call my authorization, views, and update title. First is authorization, essentially just gets my credentials from my .env file, and because my credentials are stored as a JSON string, I can pass them as a JSON object right here. And I can use it as a JavaScript object and get the variables for my client secret, client ID, and redirect URI. And then I'm going to pass all of this into my Google auth and return this object as my authorization object, essentially. Then I'm going to pass this object, authorization object, into my getViews function, and then in my getViews function I will have a service which is going to get me the list of videos, and then I'm gonna get my video by the video ID, pass in authorization, which I have received as a parameter, and I want to get the statistics. Then I will have a callback function which is going to reject the promise or resolve it, depending on whether this has been successful or not. And if it resolves the promise, it's going to return me the number of views this video has. Now that I have the number of views, I'm going to save it into the variable and pass it into my update title function. In my update title function, I will also pass auth in my auth here, and as a part I will have snippet, and my resource will be a video ID which I want to update, and then for my snippet I will add this title. It's also important to know that I pass it as an international number format, so that basically it doesn't screw up my title with some weird symbols. And then I pass in my category ID. Because my channel is educational, its ID is 27, and then it's a simple callback function just like in my getViews. Now I'm going to call the server.js and see what's going to happen. So I'm going to get this video to change its title to this amount of views, and basically you can see that this ID is the same as I have in my .env file. I'm going to go back to my VS Code and write node server.js. It has returned 200 status. It means everything went fine. I'm going to go back to my video and restart it. And look at that! It has changed my title. That's so cool. I still can't believe it is possible, to be honest. So now I'm going to show you how to deploy this to Heroku. So what you need to do now is to deploy your application to your GitHub account, and then if you don't have a Heroku account, you need to register on Heroku and create your own account and connect it to your GitHub. Now if you go back to Heroku, you should have this menu right here. You select new and create new app, and then you just write a name of your app. For example, I want to have a test video YouTube. Create app. And then you have created your Heroku app right now. Now we're going to click on deployment method and click on connect to GitHub. This is my GitHub account, it's already connected, and I'm just going to click YouTube and then search. This is a repository that is essentially going to be deployed on our Heroku. I click connect, and then what I'm going to do is to go to deploy branch here. Right now I want to go to resources and then type in my Heroku scheduler. And then I'm going to click submit order form. One more thing, you probably have to enter your credit card information before you can use this scheduler, but Heroku is not going to charge you anything unless you exceed your limits for this Heroku scheduler, which is very unlikely. So now I'm going to click on this Heroku scheduler and essentially create a job. The job I want to create is Node Server.js, and I want this to be run every 10 minutes, and I'm going to save this job. Now we're almost done with this. Essentially, before wrapping up, I'm going to go back to my Heroku application. It's right here. Go to my settings, and then I need to configure my environment variables. So I'm going to reveal them and then enter my client secret here, some value, and then I want to enter my OAuth token and a video ID. If you want to test your app, you can click here on more and then run console, and then it's going to allow you to run any Node commands, for example Node Server.js. And then you can also wait here and see what is going to log. Status 200, that means the application has been deployed, and it's going to update your video title every 10 minutes.